Big weekend for Alabama in recruiting. Kalen DeBoer starting to build that 26 class, and he got 2 big-time 4-stars in the secondary to really help what he's trying to do. No Mississippi State on the schedule for the first time since 1947. I'm pretty bummed out about it. I like that rivalry. And look, it's normally a dub for Alabama. Tennessee and Alabama softball. In the Super Regional and Alabama baseball, they salvage a win against Auburn, and they go into the tournament at number 7. And prayers go out to one of Auburn's football players that was involved in a shooting. We're going to talk about all that, plus this date in history, right here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up, guys. Share with your friends. Say, man, I know these crazy guys. They talk about Alabama every day. Anyone and everyone is welcome to join us. And the only thing that we really care to tell you guys to bring everyone together is Roll Tide. What do you say, everybody? There he is, big sexy Elmo in the house. And I'm Mick Gillespie, at Broadcaster Mick, at Brett Elmore Show. And as soon as he unmutes his mic, we're going to get into talking some Alabama football. And that includes another big pickup on Sunday, Brett. Dorian Barney. How about that? 4-star out of Georgia, picks Alabama over Ohio State. And this is another good get for the Crimson Tide.
I didn't see this coming, at least not on a Sunday afternoon. But, hey, welcome aboard. This guy's always around the football. He's a 4-star. And I tell you, 6'1", 170 pounds. He plays over at Peachtree Ridge High School in Suwanee, Georgia. Another class of 2026 guy. Coach DeBoer is already like he's just stockpiling. He's stockpiling. He's putting everybody to shame too, because he's absolutely just getting it, man. I love it. And like I say, this came as a surprise yesterday afternoon to me. This guy has 12 interceptions through his first 2 high school seasons.
Wow.
He led.
He's a ball hawk.
Yeah, he led the state as a freshman with 8. So he's always around the football. He can do it all. Is what a lot of folks are saying. So, I was watching some footage earlier with him against like the top wide receiver in the state of Georgia. Shut him down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, look, man.
So this is a big get.
Maurice Lindquist is going to love having him. The defensive backs, defensive coordinator, co-defensive coordinator, are going to love having this guy, someone that can help out in that secondary. And he just felt comfortable at Alabama. The staff won him over. They knew him from their days out in Washington. You're talking about the number 8 player in the state of Georgia. Alabama's done really well there. And, he feels like Alabama's going to continue that same momentum under Coach DeBoer than they had with Nick Saban. And I think that's big too. Give Andrew Bone credit for being on top of this one again. And it takes a lot of work to follow recruiting, with everything going on in this new staff, digging up new connections and kind of doing all that stuff. But he does that great job over at On3. And then how about this? I mean, back-to-back days where Alabama over the weekend nabbed a just excellent football player. And Jamarrion Gordon, I called him the president, right? I mean, he's the first guy in, picks Alabama, and then the very next day you get Barney. I mean, I like this. I like what I'm seeing here. I like the fact that DeBoer has been really trying hard, Brett, to prove that he can follow Nick Saban and that nothing's going to change out on that football field. It starts with talent.
Right. And no, you read my mind there. I was thinking about that. I was thinking he's been relentless, and I think he's on a mission to prove that he's a winner, and B he can be the guy to follow Nick Saban. And if all of this success off the field with recruiting translates over to the football field, yeah, we are going to just not miss a beat. You know?
Well, right, and the problem is that all of those guys rolled out on Alabama when Nick Saban retires.
Right.
And it was just, honestly, it was crazy to watch, one after the other, after the other, after the other.
It was scary too.
And that's the only room that I'm really concerned about going into this season.
Yeah.
But what you're seeing is that they're going out there and they're replenishing that stock with players that want to be in Tuscaloosa. I mean, that's a big part of it. So, I felt like Jamarrion Gordon juice was so big because he's an Alabama guy and he loves Alabama and he wants to be there. And it's about the state. And I think you go and you get those guys, the big time players in the state, and then they recruit each other because they all want to play on the same team, right? You know about the other really great players around you. And when you're coming up, you hear about this guy, or you play at a camp with this guy, or you've been around this guy, and you're like, we're going to keep Alabama as the top program in the state, right? Auburn's not getting the same bump from Hugh Freeze that we're seeing with, and I think Hugh Freeze is a good coach, don't get me wrong, but Kalen DeBoer has a lot to prove, and all he's done so far has proved that he can do this.
Yeah, like I said, he hasn't coached down a football at the university yet, but he's been a winner so far in my eyes. I mean, just by the way he's handled everything from the retirement of Saban, getting hired, losing all those guys to the transfer, putting together a staff, recruiting and the transfer portal. He's done a great job. And I cannot wait until those lights come on.
Oh, me too. Just to see what it is.
Yes, just to see this product and see what we've got. And Mick, here we are on a Monday. We are officially 103 days away until those lights come on, that light show's going. Even though it's Western Kentucky, nothing against them.
Wait.
I can't wait. Can't wait.
All right, before we talk any more football, I want to remind you guys that Brett is on every day on WJLX, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. You can check him out. He does a morning show. And so make sure you swing over if you want to listen to some good music and hear him make you laugh, because you're good at that, Brett.
Thank you.
All right, let's get into the next thing, okay? This is one that was I was worried about this, okay? They wanted to match up Alabama with Tennessee, Auburn, and LSU. I wanted Tennessee, Auburn, and Mississippi State. I know that over the last 20 years, the LSU game's been one of the top games in the conference.
Right.
But if you're going to get rid of a game, I just don't think getting rid of the Mississippi State game is the game you get rid of. I mean, I felt like that LSU game was the one that you just play every so often. And I know it's a big game, but we have a lot of big games now. We've been playing these guys since 1947. They're the closest proximity. It's easy for our fans to go to the game. Yeah, we've dominated the series, but there's something about tradition. No, Alabama hasn't played any other team more than they've played these guys.
Yeah, and you talk about 1947. We didn't play them in 47, but we played them, in 46 and 45 and 44. We missed 43. I mean, but this rivalry dates back to 1896 is when they first played. They skipped some years due to war and all this other stuff. But the thing is, yeah, they're not playing anymore. And you're right. I mean, the closeness of proximity is a good thing. And let's face it, it has been a win for the most part. I think Mississippi State beat us in Starkville back in 2007. That's the last time they won, which has been a long time ago. But, yeah, I hate to see this one go. But, it's, like I say, the new age of college football, we got that expansion, so someone was going to have to be a victim.
Yeah, not happy about this. I wasn't, and now I'm really not happy. All right, some of the other sports doing some things. Alabama won its regional. Now they got to go to Knoxville and play Tennessee in the Super Regional. Best 2 out of 3 to go to the College World Series. Alabama went last year. I think Tennessee went last year too. This is going to be a very, very tough task for Alabama and Coach Murphy. A lot of you guys I've read, where you've talked about the softball program, have talked about how it feels like it's sliding. This is this is do or die time for this team, but you got to give Patrick Murphy and his softball program a lot of credit. I mean, they're always in the mix, and they're going to have to take out one of the SEC champ to go to the College World Series.
Yeah. Alabama's 36-17 now, I think. They had a big game yesterday. 5-inning game against I forgot who it was. Somebody from Louisiana. 12-2 was the final score. So they beat Southeastern.
Southeastern, yeah. It felt like that regional in Tuscaloosa wasn't very thick. I mean,
no, it was not. It wasn't must see TV. It's kind of like, But I'm glad, But I'm glad the girls got the win and the bats came alive yesterday. But yeah, it's not going to get any easier now. You're starting to really get into the thick of things.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this right here. Like, when we're gonna get in the thick of things right now. You kept telling me that Bama baseball was a 7 seed, and I was like, "There's no chance they were a 7 seed." I mean, they couldn't have possibly been one of the 7 best teams in the SEC, but they were. I mean, like, so okay. So now they play South Carolina, and then the winner gets Arkansas. What was it? Tennessee, Arkansas, and Kentucky all ended up tied for the SEC regular season championship, right? I think that's how it went down.
I think so.
And so Alabama, Tuesday in Hoover. I love the SEC baseball tournament. I mean, I really do. I don't know that it makes any sense for you to want to really get, if you're like Tennessee, Kentucky, or Arkansas, why it makes no sense to go in there and waste all your pitching in a tournament that might, you'll be down to like your last guy. But for a team like Alabama, it's an opportunity to go in there and put it all together and make something happen.
True. Yeah. Mick didn't believe that they were 7th, and I was like, I think they are. Yeah.
You kept saying that.
He was like, no.
I was like, no way.
Yeah. And but no, the guys are 7th, so playing in Hoover. Look, everybody needs to. If you love baseball, go over to the Hoover Met, especially if you're in the area. I think it's a great facility. They've added so much stuff since the last time I've been there. These SEC experiences and all this other stuff that you can go to. It's really cool. It's a really cool event. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the contract will be up pretty soon, if not this year, next with Hoover. So with this conference expansion and everything, I think it's really big for Hoover, especially if you live here in our state and around where we are, to get that contract again.
I'm looking at the standings right now. Tennessee was 22-8. Kentucky was 22-8 in the conference, and Arkansas was 20-10.
Wow.
So yeah, so I don't know how Kentucky's third.
I don't either.
That's so weird to me. I don't know who's second. Arkansas. So they must do it like this. It must go like this. The number 2 seed's always going to be the team from the West. And you know what I mean? So that's why. But even
that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So anyway,
your finger was getting really close to me, and I was wondering.
I'm pointing at the screen there.
Okay.
Look at all those games, though.
That's a lot of games.
A lot of Tom Hart on TV.
Yeah, a lot.
You're gonna be hearing a lot of Tom Hart. Hopefully, he doesn't make any more slip ups when at the clock. Eeks. All right. I love Tom, by the way. All right. And with that said, Alabama softball and baseball, both postseason, so that's good. This one right here, well, let's do this date, and then let's finish the show with the last thing I want to talk about. So let's do this date. What do you got for us, Brett? What's going on this date?
Today, of course, is the 20th day of May. And today on the celebrity birthday list, Cher is 78.
Yeah, when I worked in D.C., I was interning. Sonny Bono was a congressperson, and his congressional office was next door to the one I worked at, the Cannon office building. Yeah, but he had died in a skiing accident, and his wife was the congressperson.
Yeah. He had a really unfortunate ending there.
Sonny and Cher, though, you remember Sonny and Cher?
I got you, babe.
Yeah, I got you, babe.
Cher is 78 today.
Still good looking, by the way. Still good looking.
She is. Former Major League Baseball player David Wells is 61 today.
Threw a perfect game, David Wells. I was trying to find the video of him pitch. I think he pitched a Yankees game. If I remember this correctly, with one of the old Yankees hats. You know, the ones that look like yarmulkes almost, like with a little tiny bill.
Little bitty hat,
yeah. Big guy, tiny hat.
That's right. But it's his birthday today. If you're looking for something to celebrate, today is the National Be a Millionaire's Day. I'm trying. Okay. I'm trying to celebrate.
Yeah. Okay. That's going to happen for us.
Yeah, buddy. I tell you. National Band Directors Day.
This is the part of this where you give everybody their own day. Although I will say this, like the $1 Million Band, I love like the college bands. Like, not saying that I'm going to be honest with you, Brad, and I know nobody else is watching this late in the show, but normally when I was going to games, I was either in the bathroom or in line to get a new drink at this point of the football game. But then I'd come out and catch a little of the band, and I'd be like, man, this band's so good. You know, they're playing the Beatles. Oh, that's Marvin Gaye. You know,
I wish they would show the bands a little bit more.
The guy that does this, though, the guy that just does this, like he's like, what is that guy really doing? Is anybody watching him? Like, you know, you're playing the tuba and you're like waiting on the guy on the chair to like give you a sign.
Yeah, to give you like a little sign. You do this.
I always just felt like that was just kind of theater.
Yeah, theater of the mind. It must be. It's something, and you better watch out. They'll be after you, Mick, if you don't.
Sorry, band directors. I just don't know.
Today is National Rescue Dog Day.
Good. Some of the best dogs are rescue dogs.
That's right. Some of the best dogs I've ever had were mutts.
Yeah,
mutts, just pure mutts. Best dogs I've ever had. Let's take a look at what happened this day. Norman Rockwell's artwork appeared on the cover of the Saturday Evening Post for the first time in 1916.
One of the best pieces I have in my baseball room is that Norman Rockwell did a picture of Brooks Robinson signing an autograph. Well, you've seen it. Brooks signed it, and he's got it on the wall. He did a lot of Boy Scouts stuff. Yeah. And I was an Eagle Scout. And so when I see his work, I think a lot about that too. But one of the premier artists of his time. I don't see his work. I mean, look, he's been gone for a long time now. I don't see his work that much. But when Brett, you stayed in the spare bedroom, you got to look at Brooks Robinson signing the picture of Brooks Robinson signing a picture for a kid.
Yeah.
Or a ball or whatever it was.
Yeah. Apparently, this was a big day in aviation. 1927. Charles Lindbergh took off from Roosevelt Field in Long Island, New York, aboard the Spirit of St. Louis on his historic solo flight to France. It was a long one. He landed 33 and a half hours later.
It took 33 hours for that first flight across the mile. Can you imagine like what that must have been like?
That was scary, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, compared to like what we have now, and I still wouldn't want to make that flight, you know, but I mean, to think that you're, you know, like, well, I think that I can do it. You know, what if you didn't do it? You end up like Amelia Earhart. Nobody knows where you went and at the bottom of the ocean.
Speaking of, and you haven't even seen my list, 1932, Amelia Earhart took off from Newfoundland, bound for Ireland to become the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic. She landed 13 and a half hours later.
Yeah, and she was trying to fly around the world, and plane crashed. And there's some people that have sonar that think they might have found the plane, and there's a plane that they found, and it's like down in like 200 feet of water, 150 feet of water. Yeah. So I don't like, I saw that recently. So we'll see if that's her plane, but yeah.
That's a look at this day.
All right. Yeah. Some good stuff there. Amelia Earhart. All right. Last thing, guys, but it's definitely not the least is, we have a competitive rivalry with Auburn, but when something happens to them, something happens to us. And Brian Battie was shot in some kind of an accident or an incident in Florida, and he's right now in bad condition. So say your prayers for him. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this already. They're not sure, what the future is going to be for him. They're just trying to keep him alive at this point, but just sad, man. I hate it. I hate it for them. I hate it for him. I hate it for his family. And it's one of those things that, that happens and you're like, why did something like this happen? And, and hopefully a miracle will keep him alive.
Yeah, that's true. As of the time that we recorded this show, he was still battling in ICU. So, our thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family and the Auburn family. It's terrible news over the weekend.
Yeah, very bad. All right, guys. With that said, we appreciate all of you for hanging out with us. Again, brought to you by Pearl River Resort over in Choctaw, Mississippi, celebrating 30 years at the casino. You got Dancing Rabbit, which is the Augusta that you can play. You've got the Timeout Sports Lounge and Sportsbook. That includes basically a Vegas-style sports room. You can go in there, 20 TVs, bet on anything, major college sports and pro, U.S. and around the globe. They've got table games and slots. They take great care of you over there. Some awesome restaurants, spa, water park, all that stuff. So check them out. And some big concerts coming up. Boys to Men, Big and Rich, Rodney Carrington, the comedian's going to be there. All part of this 30th celebration. Also, Brian McKnight. Don't forget about that. So thanks, guys. And we will talk to you again tomorrow. Like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. And everybody, again, roll Tide.